Yes, good evening, USA, Canada, Long Island, worldwide, and the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, YouTuber, creator, host with the most, the unstoppable independent podcaster and rookie podcaster of Queens, New York. And welcome everyone in the five boroughs, including sports fans that is rocking with the 29th episode of Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast, the Sports Edition show. We got a great show for you today, and I do apologize for the delay of the recording of this episode, but I'm here today to actually get 29 out the way. So, if you're new to the channel and you missed any previous episodes whatsoever, please feel free to grab that subscribe button and tap that noni bell so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream and the time that it's going to start. And leave a like and a comment along with the episodes. And of course, share the videos, share the episodes, and I'll handle the rest on where you could listen to the podcast episodes at the end of the show. All right, so let's get into this, man. Now, as far as how I'm doing mentally, physically, and spiritually, I am actually I'm actually I'm actually I'm actually well, I was a little upset due to the Roe versus Wade thing, but I'm not gonna talk about it here. I'll probably talk about it on my New York podcast. So you know what I'm saying? So anyway, man. Mentally, physically, and spiritually, you ask, I am doing all right for the most part. And yes, let's get to a little thing that I like to call the quick side bleacher bar. Okay. This is where we actually go over some trending stories in sports. So here we go. I'm going to actually prep up a little sound effect right here to represent. All right. I've been holding on to this story in regards to fans. Hang on. Let me see. Let me give a shout out to what is it? LTB underscore podcast. Thank you for joining the Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast live stream. And yes, two fans. Yes, two fans. We're gonna get into that right now, actually. Um, okay. So this is according to the Washington Post. I've been saving this actually. Two fans were ejected from Sunday's Phoenix Suns playoff game at the Dallas Mavericks and banned from the arena after coming into physical contact with members of Chris Paul's family, infuriating the Suns point guard. Um, Want to find players for saying stuff to the fans, but the fans can put their hands on our families. Fuck that. Paul tweeted after the Suns 111 to 101 loss in Dallas American Airlines Center left the second round series tied at 2. Paul's mother, Robin, and his wife, Jada, were watching the game in seats behind the Suns bench when the incident occurred. ESPN reported that Jada was pushed and that someone put hands on Robin. Video shows Paul speaking with a police officer and security guards near the Suns bench during the fourth quarter timeout. He appeared to say a fan put his hands on my mom, and an unidentified source told ESPN Paul's family felt unsafe. Um, it was unacceptable behavior and will not be tolerated, the Mavericks said in a statement Sunday night. The Mavericks, along with American Airlines Center, swiftly removed the fan from today's game, which was very stupid, by the way. On Monday, the team announced that two fans who attempted to give unwanted hugs and have conversations with members of the Paul family were banned from American Airlines Center until 2023. And hold on a minute. Yeah, that's crazy, man. So Paul, who fouled out with just under 9 minutes left after scoring 5 points, did not address the incident in his post-game news conference, answering only one question before leaving the room. Um, yeah. And the series moves back to Phoenix on Tuesday's Game 5, which already happened. Um, just doing a little recap. And more Chris Paul news. Of course, the Dallas Mavericks eliminated Chris Paul's Phoenix Suns from the NBA playoffs after the point guard scored only 10 points in the win or go home game. Phoenix Suns star Chris Paul shut down rumors of his retirement after a blowout loss to Luka um, Doncic's Dallas Mavericks on Sunday. Paul, age 37, had 10 points, 4 assists, and only a single rebound in the season-ending defeat. Going into 2022 postseason, the Phoenix Suns had the best record in the league and were largely considered favorites to win the championship. Their second round exit was a shocking defeat for Suns fans and the organization. Paul has competed in the NBA since he was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets in 2005. But his legacy has been left stained after a series of collapses in the postseason. End quote. You play long enough and you don't win every time you lose. They are going to say it was your best chance, Paul told reporters after the game on Sunday. We'll be right back next year, Paul promised Suns fans. I'll tell you that much. I'm not retiring tomorrow, thank God. Paul's age has been a significant topic of discussion for Phoenix fans since he signed a 4-year, 120 no, hold on, $120 million deal with the team last summer, according to the Bleacher Report. Yeah, and so Gerald Bourget says on Twitter, we didn't reach our goal, so I don't think anything matters except for everybody just trying to get a little bit better for next season. So that's just crazy right there. The 37-year-old point guard is already looking to the next season. Hopefully, I'm healthy coming back, he said, but I'm going to keep playing. To add salt to Paul's wound, the Suns point guard set an NBA record last night, but probably one you won't hear him boasting about. At the game 7 defeat, Paul became the only player in the NBA history to lose postseason series in which his team had a 2-zip lead, according to CBS Sports. Yeah, and we didn't reach our goal, so I don't think anything matters except for everybody trying to get a little bit better for next season, Paul said. Well, sorry that the Suns lost, but I don't know how long. I don't know how long that people are gonna be buying this shit though. Anyway, man. So let's talk Magic Johnson. Okay. Los Angeles Lakers legend Magic Johnson believes that Golden State Warriors superstar Stephen Curry deserves to win the 2022 NBA Finals MVP award, regardless of the outcome of the series. Curry has been dominant against the Boston Celtics, but the series is currently tied at 2 games apiece, heading into Game 5 on Monday night. Um, Yeah. And Magic Johnson says, I think no matter who wins the Golden State versus Boston series, Steph Curry should be the MVP because he's been dominant in the first four games. It's very rare for the NBA Finals MVP award to go to a player on the losing team, but Johnson believes Curry deserves the honor, even if Golden State comes up short. In this year's NBA Finals, Curry is averaging 34.3 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 3.8 assists per game, while shooting an impressive 50.0% from the field and 49.0% from beyond the arc. The Warriors desperately needed a win in Game 4 of the series in Boston, and Curry delivered with an outstanding performance. He scored 43 points in a Warriors win. This is the sixth time in Curry's career that he reached the NBA Finals. The two-time league MVP has never won an NBA Finals MVP award despite winning 3 NBA titles. In the 3 titles the Warriors have won with Curry on the team, Andre Iguodala and Kevin Durant took home Finals MVP honors, with Durant doing so twice. Johnson is definitely right about Curry's dominance in the 2022 finals, but it may be a stretch to expect him to win the MVP award if the Celtics do win the series. Curry can help put some worries to bed in Game 5 on Monday, as the Warriors have a chance to take a 3-2 series lead at home. Now, this is just a recap of what went down in the finals. This is just a recap. That's the reason why I'm actually doing this. But anyway, okay, we got some more basketball news to talk about here, and of course Snoop Dogg. Of course, let's take a look at this. Snoop Dogg continues to update his business portfolio. The West Coast icon, along with PayPal co-founder Ken Howery, spent over $600,000 to purchase an ownership stake in Ice Cube's Big Three League. The pair now have a 40% ownership stake in the Bivoak team in the league. In quote, we are absolutely thrilled to have Snoop, Ken, and their communities on board with the Big Three, said Big Three co-founder Ice Cube. However, someone with Ken's knowledge and experience wanting to be a part of our league demonstrates that we are moving in the right direction. Snoop is an undisputed legend who has jumped head first into Web3 space and clearly understands the importance and the value of what we are trying to create. Together, I know they will take Bivoak to new heights, and we can't wait to get started. Snoop and Howery purchased 25 fire tier um editions of Bivoak priced at $25,000 each, meaning the team's stock was divided into blockchains for sale. The Big Three is on the leading edge of enabling blockchain technology as utility, said PayPal co-founder Ken Howery. The league's embrace of NFTs as ownership rights is both visionary and practical. Key features of every smart investment. Now, I don't know what an NFT is. I'm not too sure about it. Sounds like a complicated discussion that I'm not going to have on here. um anyway, oh man. Oh man. Anyway, man. Um yeah, NFT is practical. key features of every smart investment. Howie and Snoop have some work to put in on the big three as the Bivouac squad went winless last season due to injuries. Big Three is the official creator of the new global sport Fireball 3. The league is returning for its fifth season on June 18th, which already happened, with coverage live across CBS and Paramount. Um, I'm already gonna try to cover this already. Um, yeah, so that sounds like a big win, man, for Snoop Dogg, man. Let me make some noise for this guy right here, man. All right. All right. All right. Now, unfortunately, the Brooklyn Nets got eliminated. Unfortunately. Which is crazy, man. Um yeah. All right, the Brooklyn Nets are the most dysfunctional team in the NBA. The Nets season ended the same way it began, with problems that impact the franchise's future. It began when Nets guard Kyrie Irving refused to get the COVID-19 vaccine, making him ineligible to play in the games in New York because of the city's vaccine mandate. And it ended in a disastrous loss to Boston in the first round, with Irving and Kevin Durant struggling and Ben Simmons unable to play. The Celtics swept the Nets with a 116 to 112 victory on Game 4 on Monday, and while it ended the Nets season in the only sweep of the first round, it doesn't mean the misery is over for Brooklyn. The Nets, who opened the season with championship expectations and by the finish were further away from a title than they were a year ago, have several important issues to resolve before the start of the 2022 to 23 season. Um, the accountability extends beyond players and coaches and includes the front office and ownership, who initially said they wouldn't use Irving as a part-time player, only to retreat from the position and allowed him to play in road games until late in the season, when New York City dropped its vaccine mandate for performers and professional athletes. Irving inconsistent um availability took its toll on the team, and by February, James Harden had enough and wanted out of Brooklyn, which resulted in the trade that sent Harden to Philadelphia and Simmons to the Nets. Simmons has yet to play for the Nets, and as Simmons and the Nets moved toward his season debut for Game 4, Simmons told the team he wasn't ready, setting off a flurry of hot takes condemning Simmons as the second most despised high profile person in the world, just behind Russian President Vladimir Putin, the evil villain. Today's sports discourse is not built around nuance, and some of the hot takes have been way over the top. There's room to criticize Simmons for how he has handled the situation this season while still remembering he is a human being. Yeah, he is a human being. That's true. Um, there's another angle to the Simmons situation that isn't getting enough attention. Did anyone expect Simmons to save the Nets? A guy who hasn't played all season and has dealt with physical and mental health. It is supposed to drop into a playoff series against one of the league's hottest teams and dig the Nets out of a 3-0 hole. It's almost managerial misconduct to put him into that situation. It would have been unnecessary pressure. There's a reason Denver's Jamal Murray isn't playing against Golden State, and New Orleans Zion Williamson isn't playing against Phoenix. Playoff basketball is a different game. And if you haven't played all season, the speed and intensity will eat you up. Simmons needs to come back next season as physically and mentally healthy as possible so he can contribute. It's on the Nets, Simmons and Simmons representation to help him use all the tools possible to ensure that happens. It will be an interesting offseason for Irving, who can become a free agent. His decision to decline the vaccine played havoc on Brooklyn's season, and he had the gal after Game 3 to lament Brooklyn's lack of cohesion this season. His decision was responsible for that. Irving made clear in 2019 that a major reason he signed with Brooklyn was so he could return home. He grew up in nearly New Jersey and be near family and friends. And he also wanted to play alongside Kevin Durant. He is unpredictable, so it won't be surprising if he stays with Brooklyn, and it won't be surprising if he leaves. After the game, he maintained he's with Durant in Brooklyn for the long term. But if he leaves, that championship window the Nets had when they signed Durant and Irving in 2019 just closed a little more. Um, Remains to be seen, sports folks. The first round exposed the Nets in several ways, and nothing is more important than getting Durant more help from his teammates and coaching staff. Give me 1 second as I get a sip of water. Stay with me. All right. All right. So, the first round exposed the Nets in several ways, and nothing is more important than getting Durant more help from his teammates and coaching staff against a physical defense that knocked him all over the court with multiple defenders of different sizes, strength, and speed, and oftentimes double teams. Durant struggled offensively. He committed at least 5 turnovers in the first 3 games against Boston and shot just 38.6% from the field in the series. Though the Nets don't have salary cap flexibility in the offseason, that doesn't mean Durant won't get help. Sharpshooter guard Joe Harris missed almost the entire season with an ankle injury, and his absence, especially as a scorer and floor spacer, hurt. Irving played in just 29 games. If he returns, he will be available for home and away games from the start to the end of the season, and there's no disputing Irving's talent. Also, if the 25-year-old Simmons comes back ready, the Nets get a player who was a 3-time All-Star by the time he was 24. The Nets can still be a title contender, and the optimist will point out the Nets lost 4 games to Boston by a combined 18 points, close and yet so far away. Yes, but the Nets also need help from the coaching staff, and it's worth considering whether Steve Nash will be back. As Durant struggled, Nash didn't have many answers to help him out. It's understandable that with Durant and Irving, 2 of the game's best one-on-one players, that isolation basketball can be effective. But in a 7-game series against a single opponent, focused on stopping Durant, um, ISO basketball needs help, and Nash didn't provide it. Nash's first 2 seasons weren't easy. He took the job starting in 2020 to 21 in front of empty arenas for the most part, COVID protocols and players with COVID. And this season provided plenty of trouble out of his control. It can be argued he deserves a full season with a complete and engaged roster and away from COVID protocols and vaccine issues. But we also know this is a cutthroat business. If Nash is back, he must improve too. The Nets face an important offseason with much work ahead to distance themselves from the problems of the season. Yeah, they got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of work to do. Okay. In other Brooklyn Nets news, um, here we go. On Wednesday, May 4th, the Brooklyn Nets, with Good Shepherd Services, held a ribbon cutting and unveiling of the newly renovated Joseph Mycio Community Center in NYCHA's Red Hook Houses, a fitness center that was damaged and then closed after Hurricane Ida in 2021. To commemorate the NBA's 75th anniversary, NBA teams around the country have been renovating spaces in their communities. In quote, we identify um, um, Mycio Community Center as our 75th anniversary legacy project because we have seen firsthand that impactful work and saw the tremendous need for support, said Mandy Cutman, um, Executive Vice President of Community Relations and Communications at BSE Global, parent company of Brooklyn Nets and Barclays Center. End quote. We saw the damage left by Hurricane Ida and knew we needed to help. My CEO's work is vital to Red Hook, which is in Brooklyn, and we are proud to join our incredible community partners who all help bring our vision to life. We hope that together we can continue to use the power of sport to make a lasting positive impact, and that this fitness center will inspire those in the neighborhood. The next provided treadmills, a bike machine, weights and racks, benches, and other multifunctional equipment, along with installing 3 murals in the space. End quote. Having our space renovated in this manner is not only a great privilege and honor, but also it's a great opportunity to service our youth. Yes, it is, said Roland Knight, senior program director of the Joseph Mycio Community Center. It's been a pleasure working with the Nets. I can't begin to speak on how important this is to our community, and I look forward to continuing our partnership. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good that they're rebuilding. So it makes no sense to actually give up on stuff. So here we go. Um, Now here we are. Here we are. Okay, so another story is the NBA presented 6 reimagined trophies on Thursday. The Larry O'Brien Trophy, which is given to the NBA champion, has been given a roundish makeover that is even more diam- diametrically indicative of the basketball itself. Um, there will be a conference final MVP trophies named after Magic Johnson, Western Conference, Larry Bird, Eastern Conference, who are both credited for improving the league's profile in the early 1980s. Those trophies, like the conference champion trophies, lift a sterling silver ball. The Larry O'Brien trophy's overall size, shape, and weight have not altered, although there have been some minor changes. The major modification is the base, which now sits on a pair of circular stacks instead of a square foundation. The names of the first 75 NBA champions are listed on the top disc. Each NBA champion's name will be carved on the bottom disc of each new trophy beginning this year, ensuring that each team receives a one of a kind trophy displaying its name. The disc will be large enough to hold the 25 NBA champions in the run up to the league's 100th anniversary season. End quote. Our minds on what the trophy should look like and how heavy they should be, said Christopher Arena, the NBA's head of on court and brand partnerships, and spearheaded the project. Give me 1 second. Oh boy. Yes. We wanted to explore and start a new 75 years and bring some aesthetic consistency to that and have some meaning behind all the trophies we had. You can see the new trophies below and read more about the design of the complete line of trophies here. Let's see. Let me get into this. Hold on a sec. Yeah. Well, before they're hoisted in the air by the winners, the NBA postseason trophies already received a significant lift. The, excuse me. The league announced Thursday a set of six reimagined trophies, each receiving a makeover. The centerpiece is, of course, the Larry O'Brien Trophy awarded to the NBA champion, which sports a roundish upgrade that's even more diametrically reflective of the basketball itself. One big addition: there will now be conference final MVP trophies, which are named after Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, both credited with boosting the league in the early 1980s and raising the profile of the game. Those trophies raised a sterling silver ball, similar to the conference champion trophies, of course. Um, Yeah, the general size and the weight of the Larry O'Brien trophy remains unchanged, but there are no noticeable tweaks. The base is the biggest difference where instead of a square foundation, the trophy now sits on a pair of circular stacks. The top disc lists the team's names of the first 75 NBA champions. Starting this year, the name of each NBA champion will be etched on the bottom disc of each new trophy, ensuring that each team will receive a one of a kind trophy bearing its name. The disc will have enough space to contain the next 25 NBA champions leading up to the league's 100th anniversary season. Also, the net and ball configurations have been shifted forward, symbolizing the league looking ahead of its future. The 24 karat gold vermeil has been unmasked to reveal sterling silver, emphasizing the channels of the ball and also the net, which was slightly redesigned to give it more pop. Underneath the trophy is the new NBA's finals logo. Once again, and since 1977, Tiffany and Co. is the manufacturer. Yes, our minds were on what the trophy should look like and how heavy they should be, said Christopher Arena, the NBA's head of on court and brand partnerships who spearheaded the project. We wanted to explore and start a new 75 years and bring some aesthetic consistency to that and have some meaning behind all the trophies we had. About the redesign based of the Larry O'Brien trophy, Arena said, and quote, the Larry O'Brien used to have this square, rectangular base, but it was a little bit awkward. Like, where do you grab it? By making it cylinder, you can grab it at any point. You can hold it in your hand easier. There's gripping on there's a there's gripping point on everything we did. Victor Solomon, the artist who collaborated with Tiffany on the six trophies, wanted to infuse the old with the new to create a different synergy. Yeah. Symbolically, the trophy represents the end of a journey that these athletes go on, and I felt the symbols to celebrate the players had been under celebrated. Solomon said it was very exciting and unprecedented to be able to push the boundaries and figure out what materials need to be and don't need to be associated with it, and what we needed to do to create a cohesive collection of trophies. Here we have every trophy having a relationship with the other one. A lot of it served as inspiration for what this next era would look like. One of the main rules was using the past to infuse what the future would look like, using the history to set the table for the next era. The Bill Russell Trophy, given to the Finals MVP, is now finished completely in gold on vermel to match the Larry O'Brien Trophy, featuring similar masking to reveal the net and basketball channels. The NBA is naming its two conference championship trophies after Bob Cousy, Eastern Conference, and Oscar Robertson, Western Conference. A pair of legends who were also instrumental in their leadership roles with the Players Union. Both trophies raise a silver basketball quartered into four sections, representing making the playoffs, winning the first round, winning the conference semifinals, and winning the conference finals. The underside lists the teams in each conference and the conference finals logo and the etching on the base of both feature round by round scores. The original finals trophy was made of wood and consisted of a removable cup and a base, hence the Walter Brown Cup, named after the original owner of the Celtics. In 1977, Tiffany created the present trophy, and in 1984, the trophy was renamed after former Commissioner O'Brien. Arena said there was no discussion about renaming the trophy again, mainly because of the widespread familiarity of the name. There's equity behind the name, he said, and the design had equity too. So this was a small turn um, of the dial compared to the All Star MVP trophy, for example, which was redone and named after Kobe Bryant. Solomon did a redesign of the NBA G League's trophies, and in that process, the thought of a redo of the six NBA championship trophies caught steam, and Solomon stayed in the creative loop. End quote. We could have taken an easy route and made a bunch of shiny new stuff that was arbitrary. But this league and these players deserved something so much more thoughtful, he said. What we're making is time capsules, something that these players and organizations are going to have as touchstones going forward. These trophies had so much equity and connection to the sport that we didn't want to throw it out the window or flip the table. We wanted to spin it forward. We wanted something visually appealing to them that also matches the height of what they achieved. Something so cool that they may want to repeat that achievement even more. Um, yes. So I believe that's about. Hold on. Let me see if there's a way to. Hang on a second here. Hang on. I probably want to look up more stories about this too. Since, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Let me just see. There's got to be some more stories in the NBA. I'm gonna look up another story in the meantime. Um, let's see. Where you get that? Yeah, let's look up another. I'm gonna look up another sports story. So let's look into this. Um, all right. So, okay, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but of course, let me see. Let me see this shit. All right. So, all right. Let's get into another story in development in involves what's going on with Brittany Griner. Okay, so Brittany Griner's trial is officially set to start on Friday. According to ESPN, Griner has been ordered to remain in custody for the entirety of her trial. Griner was arrested 4 months ago for alleged cannabis possession. Griner is facing up to 10 years in prison if she is convicted on the charge of large scale transportation of drugs. Less than 1% of defendants in Russian criminal cases are acquitted, which can be overturned. During her court appearance on Monday, Griner's detention was extended for 6 months to December 20th. Videos and images from the courthouse showed the basketball star in handcuffs. Yes. And ABC News says on Twitter, NBA star Brittany Griner handcuffed to prison officer as she arrives for a preliminary hearing in Moscow. hmm It was good to see her in some of those um images, but it's tough. Every time every time's a reminder that their teammate, their friend is wrongly imprisoned in another country. Phoenix Mercury coach Vanessa Nygaard said, "It's tough on our team. It is good to see her, see how she's doing. I don't know if she's doing okay." According to ESPN's TJ Quinn, Griner's conviction was always likely despite the evidence holding up or not, citing the proceedings are a formality to qualify her arrest. Russia is reportedly willing to negotiate her release. 44 Vibe News says the NBA star Brittany Griner appeared in Russian court today, faces 10 years in prison for being caught with THC pen. Um, this may sound counterintuitive, as Harvey Levin would say, um, but the trial is a crucial part of the process. Dr. Daniel Gilbert, assistant professor of military and strategic studies at the United States Air Force Academy, told ESPN, the Russians have to keep pretending that this is a legitimate arrest. There is no reason to believe that the charges are legitimate or that her trial will be fair. But if and when she's convicted, the Russians will have made clear that their credible alternative to a deal to bring her home. Hostage diplom, diplomacy. Hostage diplomacy cases rely on the pretense of law, with Brittany Griner and Paul Whelan and Trevor Reed before her. The Russians are using our own respect for the rule of law against us. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's gotta suck, man. Hopefully, hopefully things will turn around. Hopefully things will turn around for her. Remains to be seen. Um okay. Now now in other news, we need to talk about Puma and Liberty team. Okay, Puma and Liberty team celebrate women's soccer in latest clothing collaboration. Puma and Liberty have released the third chapter of the Puma and Liberty collection. The collection honors the force that women contribute to the admirable game of soccer. The companies have reinvented ideas of conventional football designs to commemorate a new era of women's engagement and spectatorship in the sport by fusing Puma's history in the game and Liberty's position in fashion and art. The Puma and Liberty line mixes Liberty's signature flower patterns and a Liberty football in hold on a second insignia with traditional football silhouettes, including jerseys, shorts, and tracksuits to celebrate football culture freshly and inclusively. The newest Puma and Liberty line is part of the company's She Moves Us initiative, which aims to support, uplift, and encourage women. Products are currently on sale at puma.com with additional styles debuting throughout the summer. Prices range from $55 to $220. You can see the collection below. Yes. All right. Let's see. All right. All right. Let's look for some more stories actually. All right. All right. Let's look for some more stuff. Um all right. Let's see. Um okay, let's do this one. All right. Okay. Loading up to the NBA draft, it was believed that Orlando Magic would use the number one pick to pick Jabari Smith Jr. from Auburn. Instead, they swerved the basketball world and selected um Paolo Banchero of Duke. Of course, let me see. So, Orlando Magic says he's a hard worker. He's incredibly talented. We are just thrilled to add him to our team. President of Basketball Operations Jeff Waltman on um, Paolo Banchero. Hmm. Um. Okay, so number two pick going to the Oklahoma City Thunder was Gonzaga center Chet Holmgren, and Smith Jr. would fall to the Houston Rockets at number three. Yeah. Let me see. And then there's I had a feeling from the information I was being told that it was just kind of up in the air. Benchero said to ESPN, Orlando wasn't really sure yet, and just to be ready for whatever. I didn't find out though that I was actually getting picked up until about 20 seconds before the commissioner got on stage. On the stage, I didn't even have time to really think about it or anything.
It just kind of happened. I can't believe it, but I'm ready. I'm ready. During his final season at Duke, Benchero averaged 17.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 3.2 assists. He now joins a young core that features Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, Franz Wagner, and Wendell Carter Jr. All players except Carter Jr. were drafted by the Magic. Um, Give me 1 second. To round out the top five, the Sacramento Kings drafted Keegan Murray, and Detroit added Purdue guard Jaden Ivey to their young core. There were plenty of draft night trades. The New York Knicks sent Kemba Walker to the Detroit Pistons, who are expected to buy the guard out. The Philadelphia 76ers traded Danny Green and the number 23 pick to the Memphis Grizzlies for D. Anthony Melton. Hmm. Okay. Let's take a look at um you know what? I'm gonna save this NBA draft thing for a future episode. I'm not sure if I'm gonna cover this, but let's see. I'm probably not gonna be able to cover this today. Actually, let me see if I could find a story so I could put a capper in this. Um, let's see. Let me see. Hold on a second, folks. Okay. I think. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, wait a minute here. Wait a minute here. Let's do this story. Okay. So one more story of the day. I wasn't expecting to do this, but let's do it anyway. The Milwaukee Brewers is the next baseball team featured in the 2022 Nike MLB City Connect series. The team nicknamed Brew Crew. That's fucking hilarious right there. It's prominently embroidered across the breast as a salute to Milwaukee's rich sports tradition and enthusiastic fans. Milwaukee's colorful past, present, and future, and represented in this reinvented jersey with new type wait a second typography um just tap posing the city's industrial background with a modern touch. Inspired by summers on Lake Michigan, the New Jersey design will debut pit on the pitch next week, which is the week of it happened this week, June 24th. Yes. The Nike MLB City Connect series celebrates each club's personality, traditions, and values that bring its fans together. Each design pays homage to the club's rich history while also pushing the boundaries of what a baseball uniform may be. The series' purpose is to re-energize longtime fans while attracting new ones to the game. The Nike Milwaukee Brewers City Connect jerseys honors the unmistakable relationship between a passionate crowd and their club. The Brew Crew. The Brew Crew chest logo has a um, bespoke typeface that pays homage to Milwaukee's industrial background while also including a modern touch that reflects the city's current revival. A stylized grill patch on the right sleeve is the final homage to the Brewers fans, a nod to the city's love of outdoor cooking and summer life. Milwaukee's 414 area code and MKE airport acronym are among the many tributes on the jersey. On June 24th, the Nike Milwaukee Brewers City Connect jersey will debut on the field. The powder blue base color of the jersey is in homage to legendary Brewers unis from the past and a reflection of summer days in Milwaukee. Summer in the Cream City is symbolized by yellow, while navy trims signify the brand and their beloved Lake Michigan. The Brewers City Connect color scheme is a tribute to Milwaukee's people's flag, a beloved um emblem of the city. Nike MLB City Connect series will be available at Nike.com and the phone app at the MLB flagship store. You can check the website, which is in NYC, which is New York City. You can check out the website at MLBshop.com and select retail locations. Yes. Yes, there it is, man. So it looks pretty cool, man. It looks pretty cool. I'm going to make some fucking noise for this shit though, man. This is very creative. This is very creative in what they did. So let's make some noise. All right. Okay. There we go right there, man. Um okay. I think I'm going to wrap this up right now. Let me wrap this up right now, man. Actually, I haven't done this segment in a long time, so I'm gonna actually go to that segment right now. Title of podcast free game mechanisms. All right. So let me just get in on the action on some sound effects and some chimes. All right. I know it's been a long time since I did this segment where I am able to give you folks out there, especially sports fans, um some key tips on how to start a podcast. So check this out. If if any of you are interested in making a podcast like I am right now with 3 podcast shows underneath of my belt, you're gonna need some key important equipment and ingredients. All right. So, um, so the first thing that you need are headphones, and of course, obviously, you need a microphone. Um, you don't have to get anything too expensive. You could find now the microphone. In case anybody is wondering of what I'm using, this is an Voxcon A800 model, which I bought from Target months ago actually. And of course you could find microphones in Target, Best Buy, you can find it on Amazon, and of course you can find it definitely, most definitely at Walmart. And of course, you need a laptop to do your live streams and stuff. And if you have a unique podcast name, that's very unique, and you want to actually um you know, make sure that it represents you, you know what I'm saying? And and listen, there is no there is no right or wrong way to do a podcast, okay? So don't worry about the idiots who say that just because you have a microphone or whatever doesn't mean you are entitled to have a podcast. Like, come on, man. Like, to be honest with you, I would rather have people succeed. I'd rather have people succeed rather than high expectations on 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 them. You know what I'm saying? And and yes, and there are some good podcasts out there that you can listen to on Spotify and other streaming platforms. And and another key thing that you need to know into podcasting is to in your be confident in your voice and your sound quality, which is very, very, very important right here. Um and and of course, you have to trust the process. Um Everything doesn't happen overnight, and of course you have to believe in yourself and the craft that you do and what makes you happy, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and you need a supporting software so you could use your software laptop for your YouTube live streams and stuff. This is where I segue into StreamYard, the software that I use to connect the YouTube channels, which is Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast, the Sports Edition show, Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast review show, and of course, Off the Meat Rack Chains New York podcast is where I actually connect the YouTube channels to the software. That way, um it involves some features which involves Facebook. I don't really use Facebook for my recordings. I mostly use YouTube, which is a lot better than Facebook because of the whole craziness of the cancel culture shit, which I don't want to be a part of. There's Twitch, and of course there's LinkedIn, which I don't really use. Um, and the first thing you need to do when you have when you have StreamYard, you want to create an account um by putting your email address or the podcast email address as well. So what you want to do is type in either your email address or the podcast email address on there. So that way you can get an idea on how to get your login code. And when you see the email address by the people from StreamYard, they're gonna send you an email address with 6 numbers. You can copy and paste it to the rectangular space right there to type your stuff. And by the time you paste the 6 numbers on there, um you should be able to log in and you should be good to go on how to set up your schedule depending on how many days you are trying to do your live stream. So there you go right there. And and uh and I'm pretty sure that and another thing that's also important about podcasting is that you don't have to worry about you know what other people think. It's not about the people. It's all about what you think of the topics, your thoughts and talks, your opinions and facts, and of course, expressing yourself is the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So yeah, there you go right there. Um, and you don't necessarily have to have a fancy studio recording and fancy cameras and stuff like that to have sound quality. You know what I'm saying? Sound quality is important. But there's some people who record their podcast shows from their cribs, and it makes it a lot fucking easier for you to save your fucking money, so you don't have to worry about wasting it on producers and engineers and stuff, because you know majority of the studios, recording studios of podcast episodes and stuff like that, they charge you so much money that's very expensive, and especially if it's for an hour. Okay, while when you're doing it from your comfort of your home, you don't have to worry about any limitations on um on how much time you are going to actually be able to record your episodes along with your topics. Okay, so that's just a way to make things a little easier for for you sports folks out there. All right. Yeah, so now that I got that out the way, we are going to go to a very last thing that I like to call stream choices on the go. You like what you heard in today's show whatsoever? Listen, all you need to do is follow excellent fun vibrant podcast, the sports edition show on Instagram, alongside with meticulous Raw Juice podcast review show, and of course off the meat rack chains New York podcast is on Facebook and Instagram, and of course you can follow me on the gram, which is G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Make sure you turn on your notifications for important updates on when the episode is going to be postponed and when it's going to be dropping. Every Thursday, you're gonna get some sports episodes, all right? Every Thursday. So there you go right there. So yeah, and also you can leave a voice message on any particular sports ideas in baseball, basketball. Of course, if you have any ideas on some sports topics, of course, people who play volleyball, people who do other sports, whatsoever. So yeah, there you go, right there. Um, and you can go to the link in bio of Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast Sports Edition show on Instagram, where it says Linktree slash Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast. Um and you click on there, you're gonna see the name of the show, which is also on anchor.fm. And yeah. Um and you're gonna see the word message on there. And when you see it, you're gonna click on there. You're gonna record your voice message on there as well. So there you go, right there. And of course, speaking of Anchor, this is where you can listen to the episodes whatsoever. So here we go. We are on Anchor, Audible, Audacity, Amazon Music, Breaker, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM Podcast, Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podfriend, Podorama, Podopolo, Podcast Addict, Podcast Index, Podchaser, Podverse, Reason FM, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts. Don't forget to give a 5-star rating to Podchaser, Podfriend, and Spotify. That would be appreciated. Also, you can also listen to Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast Sports Edition show on Radio Public. We are also on iHeartRadio, the number one app for music, radio, and podcasts, and 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 plus, be sure to follow my other shows that's also on iHeartRadio as well, which is Meticulous Vibe Juice Podcast Review Show. Of course, alongside with my number one show, which is 159 episodes. Um, Off the Meat Rack Chains New York podcast. Make sure you follow those two, and including this one right here, that's also on iHeartRadio as well. And last but not least, YouTube. Make sure you grab that subscribe button, tap that noni bell, so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream, alongside with um when the show goes in the air via live stream on the YouTube channel page. Make sure you leave a like and a comment on the episodes and the topics that was discussed in sports. And stay tuned for more video content, upcoming episodes, and previous latest episodes. That in case you miss any of the episodes, be sure to catch up on the episodes on on YouTube, and share the episodes, share the videos. Make sure you tell a friend to another friend, and of course, um, be sure that you spread the word. Share the podcast with your wives, your husbands, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your friends, and the people that you work with and stuff. Um, and um, and I think that's gonna do it, man. Listen, um, the grind. Remember, the grind does not stop. Hard work pays off. There is no shortcuts. Um, because you gotta know that New York wasn't built in a day. You know what I'm saying? It took time and years. You know what I'm saying? And and also remember, do you, man? Do what makes you happy, mentally, physically, and spiritually. All right, because nobody's gonna do that for you but you. And also believe in your voice. Um, and believe in yourself and be confident. Don't worry about the fucking idiots who don't believe in you. You just be on your P's and Q's and be on your grind, and 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 by the time you reach your highest point, you will be successful. All right? And as far as the amount of content or whatever, don't let the statistics and the numbers get you down. Just keep going and keep it pushing. That's all I'm gonna. That's all I'm gonna fucking say right now, because I think it's important to not really have high expectations of a person who is trying to do something that he or she has never done before, which is podcasting. And yeah, you just trust your gut, trust your trust your heart, and trust your instincts, because that's what really matters right here, man. And that's basically all I have to say right there. So there you have it right there. All right. I'm G Money Stacks. Thank you very much for listening and tuning in and rocking with me, especially to all the people out there that are sports fans, especially from all over the world. Um, Canada, the USA, Long Island, aka Strong Island, plus the five boroughs of New York City. I appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? It really means a lot to me. Thank you very much for tuning in. And I will be back next time on the next episode of Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast, the Sports Edition Show. And be careful out there, man. And be safe out there, and of course enjoy the rest of the day, and and of course let me just make some noise one more time, man. I want to go out with a bang. All right. Let me make some noise one more time, man, for coming back to record some content for this sports podcast right here. All right. Like I said, do you and what makes you happy. And I hope each and every one of you have a successful journey in whatever career field it is, and which includes your podcast journey. If I could reach the amount of success as I'm doing right now, so can you. It's all about you having confidence, believing in yourself, and of course, um, being comfortable with your voice. Don't worry about the other motherfuckers who don't support you. Just keep going. Keep going straight through, because um you know, life is like a CD player. Only thing you cannot do is, you know, rewind. You can you got to go through you got to go through you got to go through the pain, and you got to grow through things, you know what I'm saying? So there you go right there. I'm out of here. I'm about to enjoy the New York Metropolitans baseball game. And I'll see y'all next time in the next episode of Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast, the Sports Edition show. I am going to be enjoying this right now. So peace and one love, and make sure you follow the show on the gram as well, and you know the rest. So yeah. Peace and one love, and have yourselves a good night.